Hello everyone and welcome to this video about first eclipse that is happening on 14th of March. This month is eclipses month. Now eclipses, for those of you who doesn't know, they are very powerful tools of our universe to change our life to 180 degrees, like sharply, suddenly. They like to do that, but let me tell you, eclipses, they always work for our benefit. So whatever will be happening unexpected, it always gonna work out, my dears. Now, eclipses, when eclipses happen, it's usually about something that is happening once in a lifetime, some big opportunity, some amazing chance, some turn of events, something that we usually remember for whole our life. And we usually say, my life before and my life after this and that, or someone. So this kind of events, well, eclipses usually bring it into our lives, like getting married or getting divorced or having a baby or moving, like changing a location of your living, or something which is like once in a lifetime, once in our destiny, and it's exactly eclipses, they usually bring destined events because eclipses happen because of destiny nodes, or other way to call them, lunar nodes. Now, lunar nodes just recently this year, they changed signs into Virgo and Pisces. They are two and they are always located opposite to each other. That's why they affect at the same time two zodiac signs. And for the next a year and a half, that's how long this, lunar nodes, they stay in a couple of signs, like in pair of signs. They will be changing lives and also bringing eclipses into those zodiac signs. But don't be mistaken. These eclipses, will affect all of us, no matter which zodiac sign you are. It's just falling, you will need to check which part of your life it will be falling. But those of you who are like Virgos and Pisces, your life is getting upgraded. Why upgraded? Because usually eclipses finally change things that we are sort of hesitant to change, or we are dragging it, and sometimes we are uncomfortable with some situation, but we don't have enough resources or don't have enough willpower to change some things. Now, when eclipses, they come, they see that something is not working in your life, or someone's story is finished, but you don't want to let go of that person, for example, and they come in and they just erase that situation all of a sudden, immediately. That's why sometimes those situations are painful. Sometimes that's why we remember those situations. They're quite emotional. But this eclipse that is happening on 14th of March, it's very positive, amazingly positive. And I call it surprise eclipse because huge, planet of surprises will be very active at this eclipse, and some surprises coming. You will never know what turn of events is gonna be, what direction your life gonna change. But let me tell you, everything is positive. Don't be scared. Yes, eclipses can be positive, and I can't wait for them to happen this year, because this year we have all the positive ones. It's crazy. It's even mind-blowing. Only the last one, I think it will be a bit bumpy. Now, in 2025, we will have 4 eclipses. Usually to have 4 eclipses in 1 year is the optimum. It's amazing time. But if we have more than 4, then that year is considered a bit sort of problematic, let's say, in astrology. But this year is amazing one. Now, let's talk about this particular eclipse on 14th of March. I will go through, this eclipse, what does it mean and what kind of influence it will bring. And then I will go zodiac sign by sign so that you would, have a picture of what to expect. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse is happening in Virgo and at 23 degrees. The unexpected turn of events sort of eclipse, because it's a full moon. Now, when moon is getting full, meaning it's finished, its ending time. It's the ending conclusion phase, and something is concluding in your life. Something is finishing. Someone's story is finishing, for example, or some story is finishing there. Or like it can be about revelation. Something is opening up, like, you know, this full moon when it's bright and full. So some sort of situation, your attention will be put into that situation. Big sort of light will be there, or on somebody that you will need to deal with. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse will be first one out of 4 eclipses in this sign, in Virgo sign, while this lunar node will be in Virgo and Pisces. And also out of 2 eclipses for this month, the first one. Now in Virgo, last one, you know, all these 4 eclipses, while these lunar nodes will be situated in Virgo and Pisces, they will be falling all 2025 and even 2026. And the last one will be in February 2027 in Virgo sign. So whole story will finish by that time. Now, you know, I call these eclipses elevators of universe. They bring us instantly to a different level of life, upgraded, always up. But of course, for some people, it can be downgraded. It depends on your natal chart, depends on your life situations. So if you would like to know more personal, come for my natal chart readings. I have links all over my videos. Now, you know, and one thing to tell you also, for you to remember, not to make any drastic changes, because, you know, eclipses, they always come in pairs. They are always 2. And between them, like 2 weeks. So 2 weeks apart, they are falling. And these 2 weeks in astrology, it's called sort of a tunnel, you know, tunnel of eclipses, tunnel vision. So they are so powerful that they have a power of 10 full moons. Not only, this is not a like random full moon, you know, or every full moon that we get every month. It's a very powerful moon. Like it's like on steroids, on drugs, you know. It's very powerful, and that's why it stirs up all the dust, all the stardust, all the planets. If you imagine, like on the sky, and visibility is sort of 0. There is no visibility. We don't know how all these stars will fall, you know, we don't know how the story will fall. So usually better not to make any important decisions during this period, during these 2 weeks. So from 14th of March until end of March, because the second one we will have in end of March. And, you know, even, well, okay, we have like life situations when you will need to make maybe, for those of you, but then try to make sure of your decision, because once you're going to make that decision during this eclipses season, it will be very hard to change. It will be very hard to cancel, to make some adjustments. That's why it's not like only if you are 100% sure of your decision, like 100% sure of getting married, 100% sure in that person or in that situation in general. It's really great if you will refrain making some hard and strong decisions, let's say. And eclipses, they have, because they are powerful, they have effect of 3 months before and 3 months after. So whole these 6 months, these 2 eclipses will be sort of navigating your life, sort of bringing some story into your life, and that story will be unfolding. Some of you guys might have gotten already news, life-changing news, and some of you guys will get in March, and some of you guys will do later, like still 3 months. They will be very powerful, very in effect, let's say. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse will happen at 23 degrees, meaning those of you, my dear Virgos, who were born 14th of September, plus or minus 5 days, you will be affected the most. Big changes are coming into your life. And those of you who have any planets or placements at 23 degrees in Virgo, like rising sign or moon sign, you will be also under the radar of this eclipse. Now, as I said, it's like a tunnel vision, low visibility, not to make any decisions. And because it's a lunar eclipse, you know, lunar eclipses, unlike solar eclipses, they are very emotional. Usually something emotional will come up, but here the keyword positive. So remember that it will be positive eclipse, so no need to be scared, no need to be afraid. You will need to have an open heart to welcome the changes. You know, we are as people, we are not so welcoming of changes. We mostly don't like any changes, you know, hardly change ourselves. Also some situations we can be stuck in like years in some situations or events, or with some people and in some relationships. But this time, open your heart, make a room for that changes, go with the flow, listen to the universe. The universe knows the best how it should be, and how like eclipses, they are correctors of the destiny. You know, if you're going on the wrong path, eclipses come and they usually correct it. So they will direct you to your true destiny, to your true life path. So allow it, don't resist it. If something is happening, because it's a full moon, you know, something is ending, will be an emotional usually. Try to tell yourself everything is for the best, and try to trust universe with this process. Now, and always imagine these eclipses as two doors, you know, because they are two in 1 month. So one door is closing, full moon at the full moon, and at the new moon, by the end of the month, a new door will be opening. So, you know, to enter that new door, you need to close the one that is at your back always, right? So that's the point of these eclipses. You will need to close that door, which is not anymore like, you know, working for you. There is no good in that. You know, I'm talking about, you know, situation or person, so that you will leave it behind, and then there is another door opening. Without closing the back door, the front door won't open, my dears. That's the logic of this usually eclipses, and that's why they are two. So always imagine that, and try to release all this, whatever is not working for you in your life. You will get the signals of this eclipse for sure. Now, usually when some things happen, even emotional things, you know, usually people say good things, like good that things happened, good actually that those events turned out that way, and it was right what happened at that time. And maybe at the moment it won't be feeling that way, but this is positive one, so actually it will be feeling. Seems like you will be trusting, and seems like you will be releasing with ease with this eclipse, particular this eclipse at this time in 2025. Now, eclipses also, they have cycles. And for you to have a sort of a little bit of a clue of what the eclipse might bring to you personally, you might recall back to what was happening in your life 19 years ago or 9 years ago, because eclipses, as I said, they are cycles. So eclipses, they repeat themselves every 19 years. And sometimes exactly at the same degree in the same sign. I mean, in the same sign for sure, but this degree, sometimes at the same degree they repeat. And you might recall back to 2006, 2007, what was happening in your life, like life changing. You for sure will know what was going on, like let's say giving birth or becoming parent, or vice versa, like let's say losing parents or getting married or divorced or meeting someone special. Like let's say you met someone special, and after 9 years on another cycle you got married, and now after 19 years, let's say your firstborn kid going to university or something like this. You know, it's something very big, something which is memorable, once in a lifetime will be happening, and they repeat themselves. So events, you know, nothing is exactly same in our life, but they will be similar topics. So around similar topics, maybe whether it's, let's say, marriage, or maybe it's a surgery, or maybe it's a health related something, or work related something, you know, the topics might be same. And for some people, even events might be same, but nothing exactly similar, right? So you might recall back to 2006, 2007, because in 2006, exactly same day, 15th of March actually, we had the same similar eclipse in Virgo at 24 degrees. And after like 9-year cycle too, when these, lunar nodes, they are vice versa signs. And in 2016, 2017, you might also think back to this period, what was going on. So those things might come back. The best way to deal with eclipses is to accept the events, don't fight with them and messages of the eclipse. Usually you don't have any word to say when eclipses hit, and all this whatever will be unfolding in your life. You don't get to say anything. It's a fate, it's a destiny. They bring what they need to bring, let's say, into your life. And as a logical conclusion to the situation, because this is full moon, some conclusion or some revelation, sort of some secret will be opening up. Now, let's talk about this eclipses aspect. We have amazing aspects here. As I said, I call this eclipse unexpected turn of events, surprise, huge surprise eclipse, sort of. We will have a surprise element here because Uranus, which is in Taurus, will trine that eclipse. Now, this is amazing aspect, the best one you can get. Almost exact aspect, meaning, it will send surprise, positive surprise moment. So this full moon might catch you by surprise, something emotional. Maybe someone will make a big surprise for you, like a popping up the question to get married, for example, that you won't expect, by the way. Or, I don't know, gifting a car or property, whatever is that, because Taurus is a, sign of material possessions. Now, anyhow, this is an amazing aspect, and Uranus, planet of surprises, will be very active at this full moon. And also Mars, which is in Cancer, will send positive, supportive beams. And Mars is, let's get done things planet. It's a very impatient planet. It's a activity planet, our engine, our drive. Seems like you will have all the power. You would want to go and, I don't know, build a whole house yourself. I'm joking, but Mars gives this drive. Mars gives this action, sort of pack of action and energy, full of energy, like a ball. And it will be in Cancer, and it will send amazing beams together, working together actually with Uranus to this full moon lunar eclipse. Whatever will be happening will be such a positive surprise event there. Now, and Uranus and Mars, they, because we will have also Saturn, planet of restriction, and this is, Saturn is we call it a strict teacher of our universe, and Saturn will oppose this eclipse. Now, this is not the best, let's say, aspect. It's a bit stressful one. Saturn will be in Pisces, meaning right opposite sign to Virgo. So it will be opposing this moon, which will be in Virgo, and Saturn will connect with Sun together, which will be in Pisces. So this Saturn and Sun, Saturn will oppose this moon, full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, and meaning Saturn will remind you about responsibilities. Whatever surprise universe is preparing, still Saturn seems like will try to remind you about responsibilities, about some restrictions, about some rules to be mindful, to keep in mind. Because in Uranus and Mars that are supporting this eclipse, they will try to mitigate this Saturn, so they will try to make it more gentle. So, Saturn will play more sort of a gentle reminder. It won't be so harsh, I think, and that's why here in Uranus and Mars will team up and try to make Saturn more mild, So that's why it seems like you will have to follow some responsibilities, or you will have to do something before you get this crazy surprise, I don't know, event or situation. You will have to maybe work for something, or you will have to follow some rules or some restrictions, abide by some restrictions. Anything that is Saturn signifies. Saturn is about work and restrictions and rules, as I said. Now, but anyhow, and Uranus and Mars will try to deal with Saturn. They will help you actually to find ways and answers to the situation. Now, the ruler of this eclipse, Mercury, will be situated in Aries and conjunct Venus, planet of love and beauty. But Venus will be in a retrograde motion, meaning moving backwards. It's in retrospective motion, reflective motion, like mood. So something from your past. And Mercury also is ready to retrograde. The next day after this full moon lunar eclipse appears, on 15th of March, Mercury goes retrograde, meaning again backwards. So here is a sort of a strong sense of past. And, for those of you who want to know about Venus retrograding, what does it mean for your sign, I also have a separate video on my channel, so you can go check that one. Because Mercury will also, together with Venus, will retrograde, and they're conjunct during this full moon lunar eclipse. They are together, they are almost at the same. Conjunction means to be at the same degree of Aries. Now, there is a strong sense of past, as I said, plus south node, which, one of the lunar nodes, as I said, there are two. One is north node, another one south node. Now, south node is all about past, all about that we know perfectly, let's say. And south node is exactly in Virgo, where this full moon lunar eclipse is falling. So everything is pointing to the past. For some of you guys, it will be related to past events. Maybe like you've done something very good in your life, let's say, or you helped someone before, and that person might come back all of a sudden and help you out in some situation. Or they might have a word for you, or, it's just as an example. Or something which you've done, let's say, in the past might come unexpectedly, or someone, and make a big positive surprise, make a big amazing gift, sort of from universe, something like this might be also here as an example for some of you guys, especially those of you who has this sun rising and moon around 23 degrees of Virgo. And plus, always guys, check your rising sign first, because 99% it's relatable to rising sign, and all the horoscopes are written for rising sign, my dears. So better to check your rising sign, and then sun sign, and also moon sign. Moon sign is very strong too for some people. So anyhow, eclipses, they are very powerful, and they might play out in all three areas of your life. So check all these signs, the horoscopes for your big three, to get the full actually picture and all the possibilities of what to expect from this lunar eclipse. Now, for now, I think that's it. That's what I wanted to say. And let's now go sign by sign. Now, let's start with Virgos, my dears, because you are the heroes of this eclipse and of this month. This full moon lunar eclipse is falling in your sign, first house. Now, as I said, those of you who are born 14th of September, plus or minus 5 days, you will be affected the most. Now, when we have eclipse in our sign, it's not only one area of life, but whole chart is affected. So all your areas of your life will be affected, might be affected. And plus, with Uranus, you never know from which part of your life it will hit. But again, it's a positive, happy hit. So, don't forget that it's a positive one. Don't be frightened. Now, Uranus will be situated in your house of foreign people. Now, this big surprise will be coming from probably someone who is located somewhere far, or from some company, or, related to foreign lands and foreign people. Someone who doesn't speak your language, or even if speaks, then that person might be somewhere far, not in your country, let's say. And because that Uranus will be sending that surprise exactly from there. But Uranus rules your work house in your chart, my dear Virgos. Now, some of you guys, if you've been in the talks or in the process of selection, like interviews, rounds of interviews for a foreign job, like located, you might get that. You might land the position, my dear Virgos. And it seems like that job will come with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of work. because, as I said, Saturn will oppose it, meaning you will have huge responsibilities and a lot of hours of work. But you as a Virgos, my dears, you love actually this routine and the work schedule. You never will be afraid of working. You are the hardest working zodiac sign out of all. Now, if that will be the case, I'm happy for you guys. And if it can be also as a surprise, effect. You might be surprised actually if a foreign company or some, let's say, those like headhunters will be looking for, and they might notice you and they might send you an invitation for an interview, for example, and you will be amazingly happy and surprised at the same time. This is as an example. Now, Mars, that will be also supporting that eclipse, will be in your house of wishes. And it seems like you wished for that. You were working hard for that. And plus 11th house is, house of harvesting results. So that will be the result of your work. Seems like. Plus, your money will be doubling because Mars rules your money house. Now, because it's a first house, it's also about your appearance, about your future plans. And it seems like your plans are changing towards moving somewhere very far, somewhere foreign. And it might be changing also the direction. It might be like you start learning some new language, for example, or you all of a sudden will find yourself in a situation where you will have to learn a language or to use a different, like, foreign language, let's say, because Uranus will be in your foreign languages house, and plus it rules daily routine. And you might find, the reasons can be like millions, because you moved, or because you relocated, or because, I don't know, you got married and now you need to start speaking the language of your spouse, for example. But the point here is that all of a sudden you might get surrounded with foreign opportunities, with foreign people, and especially it relates to your work. And because it's a full moon, this full moon is putting big light on you. So headhunters might notice you, or if you've been already in the process, conclusion will surprise you, positively surprise you, my dear Virgos. You will land that job. Seems like. Now, 9th house is also house of litigation. If you're in a lawsuit, for example, or if you don't have any case that, like if you are in this area, like industry, again, you might all of a sudden have a sort of superstar moment. You might get popular about some case that you're involved in, and all of a sudden that case might get resolved to your own surprise. It will be surprising, and it might be on your favor also, because this eclipse will be supportive from Uranus and Mars. And but the opponent that you are, let's say, against, litigating, seems like will be hard one to deal with. He or she will have this Saturn embodiment, someone who is very conservative, someone who is very sort of very serious, hard to deal person, let's say. But seems like you will win the case because the universe is supporting you in this case. Plus Mars will be in your 11th house. Maybe some friends even might help you. The friends will make a lot of support, or maybe through friends you might get that job offer, by the way, to relocate somewhere far because of your work. This is as an example. Now, 9th house is also about the foreign documents, all those things that we need to relocate ourselves, or to move somewhere, or to travel somewhere, like citizenship, residence permits, or visas. And you might again get surprised here by the result. You might maybe win, I don't know, green card, for example, or you might be sort of favored in this residence permit processes or some visa processes, and it seems like you will be doing it for work. Like all of a sudden you will need to deal with those documents for some Virgos. Now, if you are a student, you will be in a huge luck too. You will land at the university that you want to enter, For example, if you send your application, seems like that application will be accepted, and you will even have a financial support from university, from any other financial institution or governmental, because Mars rules your this house of finances that come into your pocket from other people or other institutions, this scholarships or alimony. And it seems like you will get that scholarship too for your studies abroad. If you're a student, then you will get happy news around March, my dears. For some of you, it might be about publishing too, like publishing books or some work, some research. You will be in huge luck here too. All the editors or publishing houses, they will want to help you with that process, and you will be in a huge luck here. And plus, the ruler of this eclipse, meaning your ruler, Mercury, will be in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is all about money, shared money, like family budget. It can be also related to your spouse. If you say that in my life nothing is happening, then it might be the happenings in your wife's or husband's life. They might get this kind of news, or they might land a foreign job with relocation package, or they might get another source of income as a news. Now, anyhow, first, to have a first house full moon lunar eclipse is amazing, and this eclipse is positive one. And I want to congratulate you. Whatever will be happening, it will upgrade your life, my dear Virgos. And always, as I said, think back to what you've been going through 19 years ago. I already gave the dates in the beginning of video so that you can relate what will be going on. Now, Libras, for you guys, it will be 12th house, the most secretive house, the most private house of the chart. Full moons in 12th house, they usually reveal something. They open up something. In this case, they open secrets, some huge secret, or they might put some light onto some situation or person or event that it been hidden in your life, and you might get to know something, some new thing, and it will be shocking, positively shocking, so that you won't be frightened, scared, because Uranus will make amazing aspect there. Now, but ruler will be in your 7th house, house of marriage and love. Again, because this eclipse is hugely about past, seems like past relationship who is like sort of far from you, who is not near already, that person, you might hear back from that person all of a sudden to your happy surprise. Seems like you will be happily surprised about this relationship, to hear from that person, whoever is that. Maybe it's your ex-husband or ex-wife or ex-long-term partner. And because ruler of eclipse will be in marriage house, as I said. Now, it also will involve money, because Mars will be, in your 10th house, and Uranus will be in your 8th house. And, these two houses, they are career houses, social status houses, and Uranus is a money houses. So it seems like whoever it will be related to, that you will get news of all of a sudden, like shocking surprise from or about, might be related that, let's say, they got married, or vice versa, you might get married with that person, to the shock of everyone, because you've been keeping secret this relationship. For example, this is as an example, because Mars also rules your 7th house, house of this love and partners and marriages. All the action will be happening sort of there in your career and your social status house. For some Libras, this full moon lunar eclipse will mean marriage, will mean proposal, all of a sudden proposal from somewhere who's been in your life before. And for some Libras, it will be about career, about work. You might get all of a sudden a promotion that you won't expect, but you will be happy about. But so you remember that it will have sort of very strict rules and terms. because Mars rules your house of contracts, and Saturn will oppose it, as I said. And it seems like whatever job proposal or sort of a promotion will be coming to you unexpectedly will involve also strict rules and hard work. Now, this Uranus, will be situated in your 8th house, but it rules your house of kids. For some of you guys, it will be a sudden surprise around your children because Uranus is in your conception house. You might find out you're pregnant. This might be big revelation because 12th house is also about secrets, pregnancy is in general very secretive sort of thing, and like thing of universe. And Uranus is touring your conception house. Now, for those of you who've been waiting for this news, this will be very happy and surprise news, because huge indication that you might get pregnant. And also, as I said, for some of you guys, it will be about relationships, or maybe like hearing back from your ex-husband or ex-wife, my dear Libras. The 12th house is all about something hidden, something past also. You might also travel somewhere far, for example, or relocate because you got married. As an example, let's say you are getting married and you will need to relocate somewhere far. Or 12th house is also house of dreams, and you might have a prophetic dream around this full moon lunar eclipse. So pay attention to your dreams, my dear Libras. Scorpios, for you guys, it will be 11th house. Now, 11th house is all about wishes. It's all about dreams that you have in your heart. It's also about future. It's such an expansive house, and it's an amazing one. Plus, it's a house of popularity, house of social media, online world. Now, it seems like this full moon might, bring your star forefront to the world. It might light your star. You might get popular with this full moon lunar eclipse, and it will tenfold, millions of people. You might wake up with millions of people following you all of a sudden, because Uranus, planet of surprises, and it will be in your 7th house of all other people. Seems like all other people might all of a sudden start following you. For example, get interested in you. If that was your wish, you will succeed, my dear Scorpios, especially those of you who are busy with this social media, all these things. Because Uranus will be trining that eclipse. Now, 11th house is also house of, friendships. Now, for some of you guys, it will be about friendship. All of a sudden, you might make a friend who will stay with you forever, possibly forever. Some good friend might enter your life. Now, ruler of this eclipse will be in your work house, 6th house, and it seems like it might be related that you might meet that person at work, or some new colleague might come in and make a friendship with you, and that friendship will stand the test of time, my dear Scorpios. Now, Mars will be supporting this eclipse, as I said, and Mars will be in your house of foreign lands. And again, Mars rules your house of work. For some of you guys, that person will be who are coming to you, to your work as a manager or as a colleague or as a subordinate, someone who works for you, will be a foreigner. And that person will become your dear friend in the long term. Now, this is just one example. For some of you guys, it will be totally related to work, let's say, because all your work houses here, seems like you might sign a contract to work abroad, or to work to some company which is located abroad, or you might travel, like a business travel, somewhere that you wanted to go, as an example. Or for some of you guys, it might be related to real estate. Like, because of your, let's say, buying some real estate, it doesn't matter for living or for investments in some other country, and you will finally seal the deal, sort of, around that investment. You might buy some sort of real estate somewhere not in your country, for example, or not in your city. somewhere far, because Mars will be in your house of foreign lands, far lands, let's say. But whatever is coming up, it's something that you wished for a long time, because 11th house is all about our wishes. And it might be related actually to work situation or daily routine also. Also, it could be related to health. Some of you guys, it might be either your health or either health of your dear friend or health of your mother also could be. Now, either of all these three questions. So, well-being will be the topic of this full moon lunar eclipse for some of you guys. You might go like travel for some surgery abroad, and no worries here, that surgery will go amazingly well. Or you might be in communication with some physician or some specialist who are located abroad related to your condition, as an example. Anyhow, 11th house is such an expansive house. It's about our future, and here eclipse will direct your future, to the correct one. Seems like you might be relocating because of the job, like because you got a job offer or you got a promotion, for example. You will be sort of in contact, signing a contract with a foreign company, as an example, and you might relocate, and your future is sort of decided here. This could be one example too, my dear Scorpios. Sagittarius, for you guys, it's about love. Now, but this full moon lunar eclipse will be falling in your social status house, in your career house, but the ruler of eclipse will be in your business or love house. So, for some Sagittarius, it will be related to work and career. Seems like you will land that job offer. You will land sort of some amazing job that will add up to your reputation, that will come with a lot of responsibilities. You will sign the contract, and that job offer will come all of a sudden out of blue, and it will be happy surprise. For some of you guys, it will be about love, because ruler of eclipse is in your true love house. So it can be also a situation where you might get proposed, to get wed, to get married even, because your social status is adding up here. Full moon in your social status, usually it's some new title, those social labels like married or, I don't know, employed, all these things. So something is adding up here as a logical conclusion to, if you've been dating with someone, that with that person you might decide to take that relationship more step further, let's say more serious. Now Mars will be in your house of money, but Mars rules your house of love, and meaning you might start sharing family budget. For example, you are getting married, and now there will be sort of a common financial sort of budget with your husband or with your wife, as an example. Now, for some of you, as I said, it might be completely related to work or business. For example, you are quitting, you are finishing your career. Some of you guys, you might do that because it's a full moon, it's about conclusions. So you might finish your career and all of a sudden want to open a business, because ruler of eclipse will be in your business house, and plus Mars rules your business house. You might open your own store, or you might open your own online business, whatever type of business. Seems like you might go from corporate life to being your own boss. For example, some of you guys might decide that, and you might be busy signing contracts, or even opportunities will be coming up here. Now, those of you who wish to have babies, you will be in luck too, because the ruler of eclipse in your baby house. You might find out all of a sudden that you're pregnant, that you are expecting. This will be a huge surprise. That's why full moon in your social status house will signify that you are becoming mother or you are becoming father. So adding up this social label, the ones that you already have. So this news might hit you as a big surprise too. News of pregnancy, because ruler of eclipse in your house of children Plus Mars is in your house of conception, and Mars is very active, and Uranus is in your house of health and well-being, and there will be some news because it rules your house of news, my dear Sag. Now, for some of you, if you have already kids, then it might be related to your kids' situation, either related to their well-being, like health situation. Everything will be positive, no worries on that. Some happy news are due, my dear Sag. Or it might be related to their studies. Maybe they're going, like, leaving home and they're going to college, or maybe they're starting studying or moving somewhere, or maybe they gonna tell you that they're getting married, for example, or that they are pregnant and you are becoming grandmother or grandfather, as an example too. Now, for Sun Sagittarius, it will be completely related to father, because 10th house is all about father too, or your boss. If you say that nothing is happening in my life, everything is stable and everything is the same, then it might be a lot of things happening in your father's life that will affect you directly, or your manager or your boss, or someone who we respect, someone who we obey, let's say. 10th house is all about those people. Capricorns, for you guys, it will be house of all things foreign, all things far lands. It's an amazing place to have full moon lunar eclipse. Now, 9th house is all about foreign people, foreign languages, foreign cultures. Some of you guys might completely relocate to some new country, where you start speaking new language, where you start learning new language, or you might acquire already citizenship of that country. Because 9th house is also a house that deals with paperwork that requires a relocation, or being in a country, residing in a country. For example, having a citizenship or applying to a citizenship, but it's a full moon, so something coming to conclusion. You might get the passport of the country, for example, you might change your citizenship, and it will come unexpectedly happy news as an unexpected happy sort of surprise. Or it might be about residence permits also, if not citizenship. Any type of document, like a visa also, that requires us to travel, that required for travel. Now, because Uranus, planet of surprises, will be in your house of joy. You will be joyful with whatever is coming up around this full moon lunar eclipse, with the message of this eclipse. Plus, it will be something that you value, something that you that's your priority, because Uranus is your rules, your priority houses, value houses, sort of. Now, 5th house, where this Uranus will be sending shocking, positive, let's say, news, surprise news. It's also about babies. Some of you guys might find out that you're pregnant, but also this 9th house, where this full moon lunar eclipse will be falling, it's about grandchildren too. If you are at that age, you might find out that you are becoming grandmother or grandfather, as an example. Now, or it can be completely about marriage and love, because Mars will be in your marriage house. Now, that person who embodies Uranus, like surprise, in your house of dating, house. 5th house is not only about joy and also kids, it's also about dating. It's about true love. When it's a romance house. So it seems like the person who you've been dating, that person might pop the question all of a sudden, and it will be such a beautiful experience. You will have amazing time. You won't expect this proposal, my dear Capricorns. It will be the most beautiful proposal somewhere far, somewhere, or someone who is from a different culture, from a different language background. Seems like you are getting married, my dear Capricorn. Some of you guys might get married around this full moon lunar eclipse, and for some of you guys, there will be a proposal. All of a sudden, proposal to make the family with that person, to make that relationship more official, a step further, let's say. and that person seems like a foreigner, as an example. Now for some of you guys, it might be related to business. You will have all of a sudden some opportunity to build a business, to open a business. For example, if you've been thinking, if you've been planning, then seems like you will seal the deal. You will sign some contract here related to business. It might be that you will decide with your friend or with someone that you know, let's say, or with your family, because ruler of your eclipse will be in your family house. Maybe it's a family business you are trying to open, like with your mother or with your siblings, let's say. Because Mars rules also your fourth house, seems like you might be opening a business with your family or with someone within your family, which will be located somewhere far. So it seems like, for example, you are located in one country and you are sending goods, let's say, to your family, and they are selling there. So it could be this type of business too. Or some of you guys, for some of you, it will be related to real estate. Seems like you might be buying a real estate somewhere far too, not in the country that you are located or not in the country that you grew up. You might buy a house here finally. It doesn't matter for investment or for living, some sort of real estate, or apartment or house, or whatever is that. So you might be here sort of purchasing, because Uranus is a ruler of your material possession houses. So this is expensive possessions. So you might finally choose the house and make the deal, as an example. Dear Aquariuses, for you guys, it will be money house, financial house. Now it's about shared resources with your husband or with your wife or with your partner, or it's about alimony for some of you, especially those of you who are divorced, let's say, or in a divorcing process or a divorce process, or it's about scholarship if you are like a student, for example, or it's about your business partners, like business investments, also money that comes to you from other people or other governmental, like financial institutions, into your pocket. So Uranus, this planet of surprises, your ruler, will be in a house of family, and it seems like it will be related to family budget. All of a sudden, you might have a happy news here that your family budget is getting doubled, for example. Or it might be that you finally might buy an apartment or real estate, because Uranus is in your house of real estate. Or you might get a news that you got approval for a loan to buy a real estate, as an example, from a bank. If you've been waiting, then this will come as a surprise news. Now, Mars will be in your house of daily activities, and it seems like you will be happy to deal with this also. And there will be some news. It will hit as a news, and you will be super happy because ruler of eclipse is in your house of news and communication, and Mars also rules that. Now, some of you guys might get news that someone from your family, like your mother or your siblings, or maybe your husband or wife, got a new job offer, or they changing their job, or they are getting promotion. So your family budget is doubling, as an example, is getting more. So like family budget is sort of growing here. Now Uranus, which is in your fourth house, is also about citizenships, and plus moving somewhere. Because of work, you might get news that you will need to move somewhere. Or eighth house is also a house of conceptions, baby boom. You might find out that you're pregnant too, my dear Aquarius. Is here now. This full moon is about getting full, right? It's revealing, and it's such a magical house. Magic is happening here, and Uranus is all of a sudden planet. That news will come as a surprise, and it seems like it will be happy surprise. But Mars will make you to adjust sort of your daily schedule, your daily routine, and health-wise. Sort of here, both your health houses are hitting, and One of them conception house, one of them is well-being house. So it seems like some of you guys might find out that you're pregnant, and it will be a huge hit of surprise, positive one. And for some of you, it might be actually related to health. If it's not about the baby boom, baby conception, then it might be related about some sort of operation or surgery or health related situation, because Mars is, a significator of all things sharp, including medical knives, and it's in your house of health. And this full moon is falling in your 8th house. So, but no worries, guys. Even if you have some planned surgery or unexpected surgery, everything will go smooth. This eclipse is positive one. Everything will go as it should be, my dear Aquariuses. It might be also related to your mother. If it's not your situation, then it might be your mother's situation, either related to health. Maybe she will need some surgery all of a sudden. But don't be frightened here again. Everything will go okay. Or it might be related to pregnancy. Your mother might, announce that she's pregnant all of a sudden too, and you will be hugely surprised. Now, next to Pisces, for you guys, it will be the most lovely house, marriage house. Now, my dear Pisces, you are the one of the heroes of this full moon lunar eclipse, actually, because, lunar nodes, they are in your sign and in Virgo, the sign that is opposite to you. So you guys are both affected for the next year and a half, and this will fall in your marriage house. Now, this is marriage house. That's why a lot of you guys might decide take your relationship a step further. A lot of you guys might get married during this, but March is not the best time to get married, as I said, because Venus is retrograding. Venus is planet of love. When we sign marriage papers during Venus retrograde, usually there is a lack of warmth, lack of love, let's say, gradually sort of decreasing in marriage. That's why, to make a big celebration is okay, but to sign the paper of marriage paper, try to do it in May or by the end of April, after Venus goes direct, my dear Pisces, if that's your situation. Now, in general, March is amazing, positive, perfect month, but Venus is retrograde. That's why if you have this situation that you're getting married, try to sign papers later, or let's say before March, my dear Pisces. But to celebrate your love and marriage is okay. Now, Uranus, the planet that will surprise, like with positive, shocking news, will be in your news house, communication house. So it seems like some news are coming that will positively surprise you, and that news might come from very far, someone who are located far, because Uranus rules your 12th house, like over the ocean. I don't know. You might get some news from someone. And also Mars will be in your house of true love. It seems like Mars will be making a lot of actions to make that love happen, to make that upgrade of your relationship. Let's say you've been dating long time, and this will be the time when you're going to decide that you will take your relationship a step further. Well, for some of you guys, it will mean a divorce too, because full moons are about endings, some finish line, some conclusion. And it's highly possible that you got married back in 2006 with that person 19 years ago, or back in 2016 or 17, 9 years ago, because cycle of these eclipses, as I said in the beginning of video. Now this is like a cycle is coming and it's finishing. So for some of you guys, it might be not marriage, but also divorce, because 7th house is house of divorces. And even it will come as a shock, but universe is supporting you here. Seems like you might be sort of course, sad and depressed, but sort of you will have faith, in your future, in a better future. So if that thing is happening, one thing remember, eclipses, they always bring good things, meaning that person served the purpose in your life. It's a finish line. So with open heart, release that someone from your life so that you make a space for better someone to come into your life or something better to come into your life. The universe is asking you to make space, to release something. So it seems like for some of you it will be a divorce too, and it might signify also end of divorcing process, as an example. Now for some of you, my dear Pisces, it will be completely about business relationship. If you say that it's not about marriage, for example, you're single, or that your marriage is happy and strong, then it might be related to business. It can be that you're forging some agreement and you will be happy about that agreement. That agreement will be with a client who is located somewhere very far, somewhere in a foreign land, or with a business partner or someone who is not in your country. You might be in a communication sort of stage, or even signing paper stage, like sort of a trade happening here, because ruler will be in your money house, and it seems like it will bring a lot of money too. Your pocket is getting bigger. Or it could be like a job offer you are signing, sort of new job offer with the relocation package. Or you might be like sign some papers that they will send you somewhere. Maybe it's a business trip, or maybe it's a promotion. Could be about promotion too. Now, because Mars is in your business house, it might be related also for you guys who are business owners. You might find a perfect business investor, for example, to open your new business. And that investor will have money and will be located somewhere far. Seems like you might unite forces with someone in business, for example, and that business will flourish. If you've been trying to work some agreement, that agreement will finally reach the culmination, signing paper stage, seems like. Anyhow, either it's about business, either it's about marriage and love, my dear Pisces. Or in some cases, for you guys, it will be litigation thing, especially if you have a lawsuit, then it might be related to lawsuit that you have. You might hear some unexpected news, but happy news about that lawsuit. And it seems like it might be related to kids also, or to money, some sort of financial lawsuit. And that money will be yours. Seems like the ruling of this lawsuit will favor you, my dear Pisces. You might win the case. Aries, for you guys, it will be house of health and work. Now, my dear Aries, having full moon, lunar eclipse in your 6th house means either promotion, either a new job offer, especially if you've been if you've been already in the process, the result of the process will surprise you. You might land a job offer, let's say, that job, or you might get a promotion. Plus, ruler of this eclipse will be in your 1st house, giving you power to decide. You will be quite articulate to get that job at the interviews, and you will impress all the higher ups. You will impress all the VIPs and managers, and of course, to your own surprise, they will have positive news to share with you. Now, Uranus, planet of surprises, will be in your house of money, and that surprise will come, seems like, as a bonus, sort of. Even if you expected to get the job, for example, you are very positive that you're gonna get promoted or you're gonna get the new job offer, but then you won't expect how much will be the salary, and that salary will be much more than you wanted. It will be even more, actually, that you wished for example, and that will be the element of surprise. It could be one of the case. And Mars will be in your house of family. Mars rules, it's a ruler of your sign, and your family will be supportive of your decision. For example, to change the job or for your promotion, they will be quite supportive. For some of you guys, it might mean, actually, if it's not about your situation, if you say, I'm happy where am I, working, let's say, then it might be a situation of someone in your family, like brothers or sisters, or specifically mother. It might be your mother who, let's say, will get promoted or change a job. The sixth house is also house of health and well-being, and how we are actually coping with our health, taking care of our health. Seems like some of you guys, it will be related to your health situation. And here, again, it's a positive eclipse. And that's why the news that will be coming here will be positive, especially if you are in a stage where you are waiting for some results from your medical, let's say, examination. You will get some surprising great results here. Or it could be related to your mother's health, because Mars rules, medical knives. Mars rules everything sharp. So it's in your mother's house. If there is a situation related to your mother's health, then you will get surprising news here. But those news, will be, that news will be positive, so that you remember. Don't be scared, don't be frightened. Everything will go smooth if it relates to health. Now, for some of you guys, it will be related to, for those people who work for you. Sixth house is about, let's say, our assistants, or let's say at home, for example, nannies. Now, someone from as your colleague, they might announce that they are leaving the job, because full moon is about conclusion. So they are leaving the team, for example, and you might be quite sad, but at the same time, you will be wishing well to that person, and you will be happy for that person. Because, when full moon happens in sixth house, usually either our manager, either our boss, or someone who work for us, or our colleagues, let's say, they announce that they're leaving, as an example too. Now, Taurus, for you guys, it will be true love house. Your chart speaks about love, my dear Taurus. Seems like the person who you've been dating will be ready to make the move, to take the relationship a step further, because Uranus, this planet of surprises, will be in your house of social status. So there is a social status, social label will be adding up to you all of a sudden, unexpectedly, meaning you might become wife, or you might become husband. Sort of a proposal will be on the table for some of you guys, my dear Tauruses. That person who you're dating might be ready. Pop the question, and that will be a huge positive surprise for you. Now, ruler of eclipse will be situated in far lands. Seems like it might happen during travels, or somewhere very beautiful, near nature, near water, also somewhere secluded, maybe on an island even, because 12th house is about that. Now, Mars will be in your communication house, and it seems like it will be such a happy news to share and to sign papers. And it might be even a situation that all of a sudden you might go to these kind of places where you sign the papers of marriage, and you might sign the paper and you might get married. And again, I just want you to remind you that your ruler, Venus, is retrograding whole March. It's never good to sign marriage papers when love planet is retrograding. So wait until end of April. To celebrate the marriage is okay, but not to sign the papers of marriage, my dear Tauruses. Now, for some of you guys, it will be about business. If you say it's not about love, I'm happily married, or I'm single and I'm fine, then it might be about business. Now, business is, fifth house is about business. It's something that we create. And you might open doors, and you might become a business owner, like an online shop, or maybe a store, offline store, let's say, something related to this. And you're going to be opening that somewhere far from the country that you born, as an example, or vice versa, somewhere in your city, because 12th house is also, the house where we know well things and places. So some of you gonna finally open business there. Now, fifth house is also house of kids. Now, for some Tauruses, there will be unexpected news all of a sudden that you won't expect the news that you are pregnant, my dear Tauruses. If that was your wish, then congratulations. Universe is preparing for you this sort of surprise from Uranus that you're pregnant. Or you might give birth here also, all of a sudden. Like some people give birth when they're 7 month or 8 months pregnancy journey, and these things happen, but everything will go smooth, no worries. Seems like you might give birth all of a sudden, and if that's not the case, then you will find out that you're pregnant, my dear Tauruses, because fifth house is house of kids, like house of children. Now, those of you who has like grown-up kids, then it might be some shocking news from your kids, like that they are getting married or that they are pregnant, or something happening in their life that will shock you, that it will be related to their social status, or maybe that they land a job, which is a sort of a with responsibilities, with influence, with a lot of reputation also. It could be that. Now, fifth house, those of you who are in art area, because fifth house is about creativity, especially those of you who are dancers, singers, models, you will have amazing chance here to make for yourself a name. This eclipse has a power to make you popular, because it's in, Uranus is in your career, the most, highest point in your chart, meaning making you visible to the whole world. It might make your name influential. It might make you reputational, let's say, influential with a lot of power. And your talent will be visible to everyone, and everyone will start speaking about you and your talent, whatever is that. Because fifth house is all about that, my dears. Now, and fifth house is about love triangles. Now, some of you guys might find out that you are in this kind of situation because it's a full moon. It's revealing something. It's opening up some secrets. Now, fifth house, universe will not tolerate if there is a third person, let's say, and it will reveal it to you. And if that will be the situation, don't be sad. Means the universe is helping you, meaning universe is trying to release you from this situation, and all you need to do to leave all things behind, to finally close that door, to get the message, to accept it, to close it, and go further, because the next eclipse will open new doors, my dear Tauruses. Remember that. Geminis, for you guys, it will be fourth house. Now, fourth house is all about family. And, when full moons, lunar eclipses, they happen in fourth house, something big is changing in our family. And plus, it's an angular house, very sensitive one. Now, your family is getting bigger, seems like, or someone is leaving. Let's say your kids are leaving to college and they're not gonna be living with you anymore, for example, or they are getting married, or your brothers or siblings getting married and moving out. This is as an example. Or someone, let's say, relocating somewhere, like your mother, she can say that she's moving some other country, or she's going all year round travel, some journey. Million things can be here, but it can be related to your family for some Geminis. Now, surprise will be coming somewhere far, and again, it's about foreign lands. Uranus rules your house of foreign things and people and lands and languages, and it seems like someone might be living somewhere, relocating some other country. For example, your brother or sister, they might tell you that they are moving, I don't know, across the ocean, or your mother or your parents might tell you that they want to move somewhere else. They will start living somewhere else very far, as an example. Or your kids might go for studies, but not in your country, but somewhere abroad, because Uranus rules your study house. Or it's you who will be leaving your family and going abroad, like studying. somewhere, as an example. Now, fourth house is also a house of real estate and properties, no matter for living or for like investment, whatever type of property, apartment, houses. And it seems like here, full moon will signify you might sell that property, and that property is located somewhere not in your country, not somewhere you live, like where you grew up, let's say, somewhere far, maybe some other state, let's say. And you might sell either this apartment with this full moon, either if you've been trying to buy it, then you will buy around this full moon lunar eclipse. Two possibilities can be here, but it could be related to real estate, because Mars will be in your house of material possessions, like expensive material possessions. And when we have Mars in second house, we have a lot of spendings, seems like you might buy actually here some estate for yourself somewhere. It could be also in Ireland, like, I don't know, island countries, like for example Cyprus, I don't know, or Malta, as an example, like or somewhere near ocean, because 12th house is house near oceans or in the nature, or some sort of secluded, places, isolated places. But it will be in a foreign land, it will not be in your country. So you might be buying a property there, as an example, and that property will be something that you wished for a long time, because ruler of this eclipse will be in your 11th house, house of wishes and hopes, and could be also about friends related. For example, it might be your friend who will be buying this sort of thing. Now, for some Geminis, it might be completely related to citizenship status. For example, you're living in some other country and you've applied to become a citizen, like some passport, and you might hear the news around this lunar eclipse. You might be awarded, let's say, a citizenship, or some residence permit status, or some visas, because everything points here in your chart to foreign lands, to foreign processes. And also it can be related, for example, to building a house, or maybe renovating or fixing some real estate that you own, for example, as an example, somewhere far, not in the country that you are located, and there might be some construction going on, or repairments going on, and those constructions and repairments will finish by this date, 14th of March, my dear Geminis, which you will be very happy about and will spend money, of course, on that. My sweet Cancers, for you guys, it's a third house. And my dear Cancers, I remind you to check your moon sign. Specifically for you guys, you are moon-ruled sign, zodiac sign, and you will more relate to your moon sign. So check your moon sign for sure, my dear Cancers. And plus, this is lunar eclipse. You are more affected by lunar eclipse than solar, and more emotional, let's say. And this eclipse is happening in your house of communication, in all things related to social media, and also social media projects, let's say, communication projects, all things we think. And plus, it's about news, some shocking news, but positive. Remember, positive news is coming. They are on their way, and that news will be coming, seems like, from your friend. It might be about your friend who will share some surprising and unexpected news, but very happy one. For example, that they are pregnant, because Uranus rules pregnancy house in your chart. And your friend might share some very emotional news that they are pregnant, as an example. Or it might be completely related to social media, like online world, because Uranus is in your internet house, is electrifying it's fueling, let's say, sending all this electricity in your internet house, in your social media house. You will have a chance to make for yourself a name, my dear Cancers, around this full moon lunar eclipse. It seems like whatever social media project you're working on, for example, trying to develop your Instagram or YouTube page or TikTok, let's say, you will get the visibility. Your followers might instantly double or triple or even tenfold. For example, some of you guys might make for yourself a name here, and you might start earning, let's say, through those social media, and it will be this date around 14th of March, and even to get first your money through these social media projects, as an example, because Uranus rules your also money, that are coming from other people or other places into your pocket. Now, Mars will be in your first house, fueling you, giving you motivation, actually like an angel, and engine. It's amazing, always privileged to have Mars in the first house. It's amazing, and Mars is spending unusually long time in your sign. It will stay until almost end of April. Use this Mars, my dear Cancers, for all the things to propel, to go further, to start everything. But March is not yet month to start anything new, because Mercury gonna retrograde the next day of this full moon lunar eclipse, and Venus is already retrograding. Now, Venus is planet of money, and Mercury is planet of all these social media communication things. Especially for you guys, it will not be the time to start anything new. Wait until May. May will be the best to do all those things. For now, it's a preparation phase. Now, Mars fueling you, motivating you in your first house, but Mars rules your house of career. So whatever you will be doing seems like will add up to your name, will make your reputation boom, will make your influence, will make you influential, reputational. Plus, you will be sort of in your highest position. You will be visible. A lot of people might start following you because of what you do. Now, third house is amazing for those of you who are journalists, who use speaking, writing, as your job, whatever is that. And also, third house is about siblings, brothers and sisters. If you say that I'm not working around social media or internet, then it might be related to your brothers and sisters. They will have some news to share that will add up to their reputation or social status. For example, they might share that they are pregnant, and it will be happy news, and it will be all of a sudden sort of news, as an example. Now, if you don't have siblings, it might be some close relatives that, let's say, you communicate daily, or it might be your neighbors that you also communicate daily. They might share amazing news with you that will affect their social status and their career, also reputation. Now, some of you guys, it might be related to contract, like you might sign the contract around 14th of March related to your job, my dear Cancers, related to your career, to make for yourself a name. Seems like if you find, let's say, will have a job offer or sign the job paper or promotion, so you remember that Saturn is there, and it will, you will have to keep in mind that whatever position or job offer will be coming your way will come also with a lot of responsibilities and long hours of work. Seems like you might start working somewhere that will make you more visible, more influential, more reputational. Your reputation is rising here. And that something is something that you wished for a long time, because Uranus is in your wish and future house, something that you dreamed of. And it will finally, that dream will finally come true here. My dear Cancers, you have amazing chart with this eclipse. Now, 10th house is also house of father. If you say nothing is happening in my life, then it might be related to your father's life, or manager, or boss, let's say, or someone who we obey, someone who we respect. All those people are under 10th house. Now, in their life, something will be going on that will surprise you positively and affect you also positively. Now, third house is also house of transportation. Some of you guys might purchase a car, as an example, or vice versa, sell a car, or start learning to drive a car, or you might be finishing, actually passing the exam, like driving exam around this time. And in general, third house is such a courageous house. Something you will have a huge courage to start something new, to begin something new, and it will be amazing, my dear Cancer. Finally, you will have a lot of, you will be brave, you know, to start something, because plus this lunar eclipse will be emotional. You will have a lot of emotions and plus courage to begin. Maybe learning some new skills or some courses or some short trainings, because third house is about courses, also new skills, like learning new skills that will help you in your career, that will help you to climb the career ladder. Plus, third house is also house of short distance travels. You might travel somewhere that you wished actually to go, maybe to see your father, or vice versa, your father will come to see you, as an example. Like, it's something related, somewhere that you wanted to travel always, and this thing might happen around 14th of March. For some of you guys, might have happened this travel already before, like in February, or it will happen, let's say in April or in May. Don't forget that, you know, eclipses, they are influential during 3 months before and 3 months after they appear. All these 6 months, they will be bringing news and changing your life, upgrading your life. And in general, third house is house of our surrounding, our close friends. Your surrounding is getting new, my dear Cancers. Some new social circle is finishing and another is starting. Amazing one. And finally, Leos, my dear shiny Leos, for you guys, it's a financial, emotional eclipse. It's falling in your earning house, my dear Leos, amazing one. Now, you know, plus Uranus, the surprise planet, will be situated in your career house, the highest point in your chart. That will add your reputation, that will make you reputational, more influential, and make you climbing the career ladder, sort of. Seems like you are on the promotion line, or you might change your job. You might have some job which will also will double your salary or even triple your salary. Plus, you will change the job, you will sign the contract, and will make you influential, will make you reputational, and you know, a lot of people will start listening to you, will start following you. There is a contract on your table about a new job offer or a promotion, my dear Leos, either of these two. And Mars will be in your house of far lands, somewhere far. It might come with relocation package too, or without, it doesn't matter. But it seems like it can be also, there will be an option to relocate to some other country if you wish so, in some foreign country, because ruler of eclipse will be in a foreign land house somewhere far, or that company that you will work for will be located far, and you might start work online, because Mars will be in the 12th house, and 12th house is something online, you know, and or even night shifts, might be like a night shifts time as an example. Anyhow, here your money is getting bigger, fuller, my dear Leos. Amazing. Now, for some of you guys, if you say that it's not about work, I'm happy where am I, I'm happy with my position and nothing is changing there, it might be related to material possessions. You might buy here or sell something which is valuable, like a house, like a car, or I don't know, jewelry or stock, whatever is very valuable and expensive. Once in a lifetime purchase, let's say. You might make this kind of sort of purchase too. Now, it might be related to your father. If it's not about you, it can be your father's life. Like your father is getting a new job opportunity or new promotion, or your father is buying something very expensive, let's say, and somewhere very far. That expensive thing will be located somewhere not in the country that you live, seems like. Now, if that's a job offer, seems like it will be related with foreign people, with foreign lands, working with this kind of, or either in like in publishing, in media, let's say, related to media, related to marketing, because ninth house is all about that, related to publishing or education. For example, as a teacher, as a professor, because ninth house is the education house. Some of you guys might, you know, change values, because full moons are about closing. So some values will lose its priority in your life, and there will some other priorities will be more important from that moment on. Whatever news or contract will be happening with a huge surprise, my dear Leos, and it will be amazing one, perfect one. And in general, it will boost your self-esteem, self-value, because second house is about self-esteem. How much we love ourselves, that's how much we earn money. And in money and your self-value will be linked, and it will get boost, my dear Leos. Now, in general, second house is all types of resources like material, psychological, energy, food, or even it's linked to, garden also, and the food that we consume. And here, some of you guys might change your diet, as an example. Like you might stop eating some products, some food, and you might change completely what you eat, how you eat, the quality, all these things. Your eating habits might get completely changed and erased for good, my dear Leos. Now, this was whole video about this full moon, amazing full moon, surprise news of full moon lunar eclipse. Always check your rising sign and moon sign together with sun sign to more get related content. And if you have even more questions, you always can come to my natal chart readings. The links are all in the video. And I wish you amazing super eclipses, and they will be super positive. Don't forget about this, and always let the universe do the job. Always allow it to make your life better, my dears. Love you all. Bye bye.